We're in Monte Carlo then for round 12. Daniel Bogdasarov on pole from Oscar Folstad and Sebastian Ocampo. Then it's Daf Sanchez. Revo starts 5th with his teammate Jack Carter alongside. Then it's Milraz, Tommy, and U-Cable, who's won around here before. iWorld starts 10th from Marcus Nelson and T. Gabo. Then it's Leo in 13th with teammate Akari Lopez alongside. David Camino starts 15th from Santino Milan and Art Kiwi and Michael Novikov. Then it's Lola Leclerc, P. Sierra, the other Mahindra of Cosmos, and Bastian Tan, the championship leader. Well, with the championship leader starting all the way back down in 22nd, all 5 laps go on here in Monaco. And the Monte Carlo E3 is green, and covering off the outside line is Bogdasarov, defending from Oscar Folstad, who drops the P3. Sebastian Ocampo up alongside Daniel Bogdasarov. These two former teammates when they were both at Andretti. Revo up 2 places, now only up 1 place. His teammate Jack Carter dropping to 7th, but out in front, Bogdasarov still holds the lead from Sebastian Ocampo and Revo, who's trying to go around the outside, gets slid up the inside by Oscar Folstad and learns the hard way what happens when you charge against a bull like Revo. He's hit the wall, got a bit of damage, still got yellows. That's for Michael Novikov, who's also riding the wall, coming out of the station hairpin. But it's Bogdasarov from Ocampo, from Revo, from Folstad on lap 1. This is the race with the highest lap count due to the lowest amount of turns. As you can see, that is Novikov once again in trouble. He's got himself in the wall, got a lot more damage from that incident, still nothing from the front wing, so he won't have to pit. Bastian Tan starting on the hard tyres, only man to start on the hard tyres. He's not going to be trying to force his way up the field right now. He's going to do what everyone does in Monaco, and that is rely on the strategy. You can make a lot of moves on lap 1, as you can see, Revo's made up 2, same with Bastian Tan. Daniel Bogdasarov in the fastest first sector. But upcoming, we're looking with Sebastian Ocampo. This is the greatest place to make an overtake. If not here, well, you can try start to Vort turn 1. If not there, then maybe the tunnel, if you can get a good slipstream coming down into it. But then you've got the chicane, the Nouvelle chicane, as it's called here in Monaco. And it's really hard to send one down the inside. It's really hard to just keep 2 cars alongside coming through the chicane. It is really built only for 1 car. As we go on board with Leo, this track is very well known for its single file racing. It's more like a time attack track than a rest track. The attack mode is now active. Bogdasarov with the fastest lap. Revo coming across the line to start his lap 3 of 19. There's only 1 attack mode activation point, and it is the run down into Saint-Devot turn 1. And that's why it's such a good place to try and go for an overtake. It rarely works. As I said, this part of the track, the opener of Sector 2, is much better for making overtakes. But it's still possible to do it down at turn 1. Revo is much closer to Ocampo than Ocampo is to Bogdasarov, but there is roughly still a second between them. Bastian Tan in 20th position, championship leader, setting the fastest first sector of anyone. On board with the number 22. It was only really started from down the order, and he goes for his first title. T. Gabo also outside of the points, so for Revo right now, if he just holds position, he will regain the championship lead. Meaning that Bastian Tan currently would actually be 2nd, which is still very good for the McLaren man on McLaren's return to the Formula E Monoposto Championship. A 2nd place in the World Drivers' Championship would be much appreciated. But with Hyperdrive Racing currently in their last season with a 3-7, it could be much better. Revo trying to take 2nd away from Sebastian here. He's not quite close enough to make a lunge coming through the hairpin, especially considering that if he makes a mistake, he knows that the number 4 behind him, Oscar Folstad, would try and get past him. If we look to Jack Carter and the number 98 car, started 6th, dropped 1 position compared to his teammate who started 5th, gained 2 positions on that opening lap. He's trying to get back past Daf Sanchez to get himself at least up into 6th position. But you can see with Revo, he's really struggling to keep himself close enough to Ocampo as to where he can try and get past. I can't recall Revo winning the Monte Carlo E3 as Bogusar and Ocampo both coming into the pit at the end of the lap. So Revo will lead the Monte Carlo E3 from Oscar Folstad and Neilrez, your top three. Bogusar was 2 seconds ahead of Revo, so he's going to come out of the pit on the mediums. The soft tyres we've seen have done 5 laps. They should, as you can see with Neilrez, do 6 laps and probably no more than 6. However, Cosmos is going to have to stretch his tyres a lot more because I doubt they're going to be double stacking. There's a lot of damage to Lala Leclerc's car. The British Monegasque driver in the number 16 entered under a Monegasque racing license while he was in F1, and Folstad's also got a ton of damage. He doesn't even have attack charge usable, so the fact that he's still close enough to Revo shows that around this track, attack charge is not actually that powerful. You can only really use it at 3 points coming through this track. Right before Sandoval, so coming out of Anthony Nose right there, Revo staying out for lap 6. And then after Sandoval, as everyone behind Folstad coming in, apart from Cable, who will inherit P3. So before and after turn 1 is where you can make the most of attack charge, and you can see it's not really that important around this track. The only other place where you can use it is the tunnel, the famous tunnel, which is actually the longest. Well, it's not a straight, it's the longest part of the track where you will have to use where you can just full throttle it, but you can see on the dash, only 7th gear. We do have gears in our cars just because it provides a better sound. Lasky and Tan up from 22nd on the grid as Bogdasarov, that is Marcus Nelson, he's been hit by Sebastian Ocampo. Spinning was Marcus Nelson there. I think Tommy also ran into a little bit of problems. I think into the wall. Once again goes Marcus Nelson. He's gone way too long on his soft compound tyres. 28 laps done. Revo comes into the pits at the end of this lap. A 28% tyre wear for those softs. As he now comes into the pits with Marcus Nelson. What a ballad he's had to face. So Enoch Huey was the second man to come in. Or the first man to come in. Cosmos has to come in with 23% tyre wear. Oscar Folstad leads this race from Daniel Bogdasarov and Revo, who, in all of that commotion, has gotten past Sebastian Ocampo on strategy. So good job from Hyperdrive Racing to get their man up the order, as David Camino gets himself up ahead of Bastian Tan, but he comes back at him. Bastian back ahead, as into the wall goes Neilrez. And if there wasn't a tree there, we would have seen him wall ride out of that turn. He's 4% car damage rate. He needs to pit at the end of this lap. Folstad, who is currently coming up towards Anthony No's turn, named after the man who came up with the idea to have a race in Monaco. And Folstad does come in. They go side by side. Camino has hit the wall and lost part of his front wing. And he's lost quite a bit of grip as well. He's going to have to pit as well. Sanchez is going to be able to just drive past him as he goes down the hill. And into the pits they both come. Folstad is coming out of the pits in 4th position. So he's ahead, almost ahead. He is ahead of his teammate on the hard compound of tyres with 11 laps to go. We've only got a handful of races then until race number 15, where the fan boost vote closes. So go and vote for your favorite driver. Down in the description below is a Google form where you will be able to vote. And the top 3 drivers in these polls will get fan boost for the final 3 rounds, which is basically just an increased power boost. As Daf Sanchez gets past Bastian Tan, who would really prefer to have fan boost, then to have started on the hard compound tyres. I'm pretty sure he's the only man who is not pitted yet. And it's given him 6th position on the road. Track position historically has been somewhat important around here because of the high rain risk, because we are literally not even above or below sea level, we are at sea level. Revo setting a new fastest lap of the E3, a 1:03 lap time. At the car's fastest, we do usually see not only the track coming towards the drivers, we also usually see, more importantly, lap times approaching the 59-second mark. We don't actually see it too much because this is one of the tracks we spend the least amount of time full throttle, as you can see, rising towards Saint-Devote, named after, I believe, the cathedral that is just a few meters away, a few hundred meters away from Turn 1. So if there was a massive pile-up down there, it would be catastrophic. But Baltasarov now, he's been caught by Revo. 0.3 of a second behind is the reigning World Drivers' Champion. He's going to have a very good chance coming through Saint-Devote. If he wants to put a nose in, he can. With 9 laps to go here in Monaco, he's not quite going to do it, but he's gone wide as Daniel Baltasarov. It's France versus Italy as we come towards Casino Square. It's the outside line for Revo. It's not going to be the line that will give him the race lead yet. He's still got the inside coming down towards this turn, using all the track he can, and Revo takes the lead of the Monte Carlo E3. Baltasarov is hit. Revo, he's hit the wall too. Sierra has come into the pits for his second stop, and he's going to be a very unhappy man in that Virgin Renault car. Is Daniel Baltasarov. He's been given a 5-second time penalty for nicking the back of the Hyperdrive Racing #1 car. And that's a loss of weaving from Baltasarov, a man who's probably going to want to come into the pits at the end of this lap. But for Revo, that is a race-winning overtake, as further back down the order, that is... Well, we're trying to look at it now. The track's been cleared. Tommy went very deep there, and I believe it was Jack Carter who went off into the wall. Down there, it was not Jack Carter, so I'm not too sure who hit the wall. I'm just trying to look for him, and I believe it must have been Lalo Leclerc, who definitely is not enjoying this race. Baltasarov and Revo both coming into the pit. UK Ball and Tommy also in, so Oscar Folstad leads this race from the two Andretti's and Jack Carter. Revo's come out of the pit in 5th position, where he started this race. And for Bastian Tan, he's dropped quite a bit. He's coming into the pits now, and that track position gain for him has not quite worked out. He's going to come out of the pits right now after his first and probably only pit stop, as he's been extended tires now. He's come out in 9th position. He's only gained 3 positions in this race, so it's not as ideal as McLaren TGR would have wanted it. But for McLaren TGR to have one of their drivers leading this race is still somewhat ideal. As we look back with Oscar Folstad, 2 seconds the gap between him and Sebastian Ocampo. It's been a very touch and go race for a lot of these drivers. And as Folstad now comes into pit lane to serve his second stop, Ocampo also in, so Sanchez leads this race. Carter's staying out. Jack Carter's going to be staying out, and he's using attack charge going down the straight. But he has been passed by his teammate, who had attack mode and charge at his disposal. So up into second goes Revo. He's still got the fastest lap of the T3 currently. Shadow's come in as well. His championship rivals will not be scoring big points. Revo is currently on track, on course to reclaim the lead in the World Drivers' Standings, which he lost last time out in Vancouver, Canada. But here he is on the back of Daf Sanchez. He's not using attack charge at all. There's no attack mode coming through the tunnel. He was trying to slip through him, but I don't think he's going to try and get past him yet. He doesn't want to. Just wants to try and force him into a mistake. Baltasarov further back, and out of the race is gone. And Tommy in the barriers. First retirement here in Monaco, and it is for the next TV driver who's still yet to score any points in the championship. Jack Carter has been passed by Daniel Baltasarov, and I do believe this is a perfect time for, yes, Daf Sanchez coming into pit lane. And I think Jack Carter also takes lessons from the Andretti school of how to correctly do a strategy, because he's coming to the pits as well. with Sanchez. We go back racing. Bogdasarov is 3/10 of a second behind race leader Revo, but his tires aren't holding up as well. I think there's a possibility that Bogdasarov might have to be forced into a 3-stopper here. Revo's medium, soft, medium strategy might have actually worked a lot better than a soft, medium, soft, possibly soft, that Bogdasarov might have to do. As you can see, he's dropped off the back quite heavily. As we're still on board with the Virgin Racing driver in the number 97 as he tries to win at what amounts to his home race somewhat. Monaco, like a paddock here in Monaco. They are actually legally in France, but it is the Monte Carlo Prix. Legally, we have to say that we are in Monaco, or else we get sued. But with 5 laps left to run here in Monte Carlo, as we rise up the hill towards Casino Square, Revo leads away from Bogdasarov with a 5-second time penalty. Then it's Oscar Forstad, Daf Sanchez, Sebastian Ocampo, and Jack Carter. Mueller's comes into the pits for his third and final stop. He's going to go on to mediums, which will comfortably see him to the end of the race, almost hitting the wall there on pit entry. And Next TV Neo's had a really torrid time of it, haven't they? Novikov is currently racing Mueller's on pit exit. He won that race. He's not going to win this race unless something hectic happens. Tommy, in the other Next TV Neo, he's already returned to the hospitality center. He is out of this race. As now we look to Revo coming through Anthony Nose. Start lap number 15 of 19. Bogdasarov dropping off the back of the Hyperdrive man. He's 2 seconds off the back of Revo now. 2.003, 2.010. And that gap is increasing quite a bit. So I don't know what the difference between that Hyperdrive car settings and the Virgin Renault settings are, apart from the fact that there is a Renault powertrain in that car. They will both be under the same umbrella of DS Automobiles alongside Andretti, however, next season. Because, you know, DS Automobiles coming in next season to be the factory team. As an QE coming out of the pits in 21st last position. This has been the least atrocious race in Monte Carlo we have seen in quite a while. We've seen a handful of yellow flags, but only a single full course yellow. And I'm just grateful for the fact that improvements in safety and reliability have meant that drivers haven't been retiring from this race as they used to season 12. On to lap 16 of 19, Bogdasarov comes into the pits for his third and final stop. We expect him to go on to softs. He's gone on to mediums. He's going on to mediums, which is a bit overkill, but he almost hit the wall coming through there. So, of course, the boys down at Virgin Racing thought, you know what, it would probably be smarter to pit onto some mediums. Bastian Tan's going for a second stop. And he's going to go into medium tires too. Akari P. Sierra also into pit lane. I do my best to name all the drivers in the race before the race ends. But of course, sometimes there are moments where you just can't. And stuff further upfield means that some drivers get forgotten. So please keep an eye on the timing tower. Vote for your favorite driver over their fan booth. Link is still in the description. But with 2.5 laps to go, it's going to become 2 quite quickly, with Revo coming up towards Anthony No's turn now, and I expect him to come into the pits for a final stop. He does. Revo in pit lane. Hyperdrive Racing have the first pit box as the first entryman in the championship. Bolstad starts lap 17, sets out to try and keep his McLaren in this race. Sanchez is second. Carter is going to take third from Revo. Ocampo's in pit lane. He is racing Bogdasarov on pit exit, and he has lost that race. Bogdasarov has managed to do the undercut, on Revo, but now he's going to have fresher tires to the end of the race and soft tires to the end of the race. He's in that number 1 car. He's currently where he started, 5th position, except now with the fastest lap and the fastest tyres at his disposal. I'm calling this right now. I think Revo has one of the best shots to win the Monte Carlo E-Prix that he's ever had. He didn't win it last season. That went to the season 14 champion, Sebastian Ocampo, last season. In the season where Revo won his maiden World Drivers' Championship. We've got yellows in the second sector. Out of the race goes Milrez, and it's at the same turn that Tommy's gone out. It's not at the Nouvelle chicane as we usually see. Volstad has come in. Sanchez is coming in. I expect Jack Carter to come into the pits. So Daniel Bogdasarov is going to take the lead of the E3 with Revo breathing down his neck on this, the penultimate lap here in Monte Carlo, Monaco. Virtual safety car is ending. Volstad is going to come out of the pits in third position. So it's going to be a strut to glory race for McLaren TGR as well. Carter's going to have made up net one position, but Revo currently right on the back, breathing down Daniel's neck, as previously stated. But it's all about now, can he get past? With Volstad now also in this race for the win. And he's now got the freshest tyres of the top three. So of course, it's all going to come down to now, thanks to Milrez crashing out, this could be Revo, Bogdasarov or Volstad's race to win. Currently, Revo would win it because Bogdasarov has that 5-second time penalty. Only he and Ocampo have been penalised in this race. It's always good to have less drivers penalised, but to have a race win occur due to a penalty would be very unfortunate for the race leader. So onto the final lap here in Monte Carlo, Monaco. It is Bogdasarov from Revo, from Volstad, from Sanchez, from Jack Carter, the top five, as we go on board with Bogdasarov, doing all he can to defend from the reigning World Drivers' Champion, but maybe Revo not actually attacking as much as he would prefer to. Bogdasarov setting the fastest first sector, trying to take away the fastest lap point from Revo, which would help Virgin out immensely in their bid for the World Constructors Championship. With T. Gabo currently down 11th, Bastian Tan will get some points today, but I doubt it will be enough to hold on to the championship lead, as we see coming through the Nouvelle chicane, through the final sector of this lap. Well, it's not been one of the most exciting Monte Carlo E3s then, as we rise up towards Anthony No's turn. Bogdasarov, as he comes down the hill, he's going to have first place on the road. It'll only amount to a P4 finish as Revo takes home his first Monte Carlo E3 win in a long time. Sanchez setting a fastest lap in fourth on the road, a 1:0.750. Leclerc will riding on board with now in that Mercedes Formula E car. And my oh my, that was kind of the slow burn of a race. Volstad finishing half a second behind Revo. Your eventual race winner, with Bogdasarov dropping down to P4 because Sanchez was within 5 seconds. So your podium will be Revo, Volstad and Sanchez as we see Novikov come across the line. This is the podium then. Revo wins the Monte Carlo E-Prix from Oscar Volstad and Daf Sanchez. He's taken two of the Formula E Monoposto Championship Triple Crown. All he has to do now is win in London, and he will have taken the Triple Crown of Manila, of Abuja, and of Monte Carlo. And also London. I can't even talk anymore. Revo wins the Monte Carlo E-Prix from Oscar Volstad and Daf Sanchez, and it's Daniel Bogdasarov, Jack Carter, Sebastian Ocampo, Bastian Tan, and Cable, your top 8. Then it's Akari Lopez 9th from Not Curie, and T. Gabo just outside of the points in his bid for the World Drivers' Championship. Then it's iWorld, P. Sierra, Leo, Santino Milan, Marcus Nelson, David Camino, Lars Leclerc, Cosmos, and Michael Novikov, with Milrez and Tommy not scoring any points and not finishing. Revo retakes the lead in the World Drivers' Championship, and he's 12 points ahead of Bastian Tan. Then it's T. Gabo, Jack Carter, Daniel Bogdasarov, Marcus Nelson tied with the Frenchman. Then it's Oscar Volstad, 2 points back, Akari Lopez in 8th. Then it's iWorld on the Cable, Leo, Sebastian Ocampo 1 point ahead of his teammate. Then it's Lars Leclerc, 1 point ahead of Cosmos, P. Sierra, and not Yui, David Camino, Milrez, Michael Novikov, Santino Milan, and Tommy, who is still yet to score any points. In the constructors' standings, heading into the next round of the championship in Victoria, Australia, Hyperdrive Racing lead the way on 183 points from McLaren TGR on 167. Then it's Virgin Renault on 161 points, Aurelio Pinnacle on 105, Mercedes Formula E team on 89 points. Then it's App Sports Line on 88, Braun Honda GP and DS Andretti tied on 77 points. Then it's Mahindra on 62 points, Nissan Nismo on 42, and Next TV Neo on 14 points. We'll see you guys next time then for the Victoria E Prix in the Formula E Monocross Championships 17th season.